Hello and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 21st of March for the Sun or the Ascendant. What I'm going to do is give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac sign forecasts. Now this week begins with the Sun finding its way in its new home of Aries. This obviously gives us an opportunity for a sense of renewal, for getting on the front foot with fresh plans, or revitalising the strands that are ongoing with greater energy and enthusiasm. So really exciting stuff. But of course the ruler of the sign of Aries is Mars, and that's in sector 11 alongside Venus in the sign of Aquarius. And Mars comes into a direct and exact right angle with Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, the modern ruler of Aquarius, on Tuesday. Now, therefore, it could be a restless start to this week. Mars squaring Uranus can make us a bit more impatient, more easily frustrated with limitations. It could see us experiencing a greater consciousness about those people who share different values to us. We may be more impulsive about spending money. Also, someone could try to dominate us and restrict our freedoms, but equally we can push back on any restrictions that are trying to be imposed on us. So that's an interesting combination. At the heart of this week, also Mercury, in its debilitated journey through Pisces, combines with Neptune. Now this is absolutely awesome if we want to embrace the more spiritual dimension, to do some meditation or perhaps some creative writing or listen to some really enchanting music, but it can make it more difficult to grapple with details, so our concentration could be affected a little bit at the heart of this week. However, later in the week, Mercury moves forwards to forge a very penetrating link with Pluto. Pluto in the sign of Capricorn for that little while longer. It's moving into Aquarius next year, 23, for nearly 2.5 months. And then we'll go into Aquarius in 24 for a longer stay. But that combination between Mercury and Pluto can give Mercury in Pisces, which can be very mutable, can give it a bit more shape. So excellent for thinking behind the scenes of situations, do a bit of probing or research. But Friday's quarter moon also occurs in the sign of Capricorn. And of course, like Aries, this is a cardinal sign, very much about leadership. And I think the energy of the sun in Aries is quite immediate. It's focused on what it wants to do in the here and now, whereas the energy of Capricorn is more about the long established ways that things are structured. So it can be like having to deal with someone in a position of authority, like a line manager. It could be an institution, a governmental agency, and we may encounter some frustration if something we want to do that's new and fresh and exciting somehow receives less than enthusiastic support from someone who's part of the establishment, if you like. But that Aries energy is given a significant boost on Sunday when Mercury, the planet of thought and talk, moves into this sign, and that gives it much more fire, much more thrust. And I think that whole feeling of a new beginning is definitely going to be rejuvenated even more. Now please stay with me for your in-depth horoscope forecast, but if you are new to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. If you'd also like to rise above Zodiac astrology and understand more about your own personal situation, you can take advantage of my special offer of character analysis and a 12-month forecast. Get 30% off. No two charts are the same, and it will give you searing insights for the months ahead. If you'd like to get your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, please see the link beneath this video too, where you can subscribe for that. Hello Scorpio, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 21st of March. The sun's moved into your sector of practicalities. So a great opportunity to try to have a sort out. You know, a declutter in the domestic abode could be something that's really beneficial to you. And you're going to have lots of nervous energy in order to achieve this if that's what you decide to do. And that's because your traditional ruler Mars continues to be pressured by Uranus, the planet of freedom, but that is in your sector of relationships. So if you're feeling a little bit closed in or hemmed in by circumstances at the moment, it could be that you could feel more irritable than usual. And then if you feel that your everyday structure is a bit muddled, that can add to your sense of ire. Also, Mercury and Neptune are in some ways a really spiritual combination in your sector of joys. And if you are a creative person, you could be very productive this week. But if you're trying to work something through in a romantic context, these sort of very tense energies need to be contained if you are going to get to a place of agreement that Mercury wants you to do. Now later this week on Sunday, Mercury actually moves into the sign of Aries too, and anything that requires more precision, more discrimination, you can work towards that very successfully through to the 2nd of April. But later this week, the Sun in the sign of Aries is in a right angle with the Moon in Capricorn, and that's going to create the potential for even more tension. The best way to deal with this week, therefore, Scorpio, is to prioritize. Don't try to be too efficient or efficient to the degree that you're wanting or hoping to get everything running absolutely efficiently, when it's better to realize that perhaps if you give yourself an achievable plan and just work on the things that are really important first, by the end of the week you could end up actually being really delighted. But if you set your target really high, then the frustration can mount up. So the quarter moon and Mars being compromised by Uranus can create a lot of tension this week. But if you give yourself some achievable targets, progress can be made.